Today we have a 2019 Toyota Highlander, and we're going to be test fitting the Kuat NV 2.0 two-bike platform rack, which is part number NV22B. Now, this is a very high quality rack that Kuat has produced. It's got a lot of great features. We'll go over a couple of them right now. First one I want to point out is that, like most platform racks, this can tilt away from the vehicle with bikes loaded. One thing that I really like about what Kuat did with this is that it's very easy to access. We don't have to pull any pins. We don't have to lift up on the bike rack first to be able to pull the pins out. All we got to do is pull on this handle, and then we can tilt it away. Which seems like a small thing to think about, but once you use that feature, you're going to think, oh wow, I'm not going to pull any pins anymore. This is great. And then when the trunk opens, you see we have plenty of clearance between our bike and the hatch. We can come in here, get whatever gear or groceries that we have, unload it. To tilt it back up, we're just going to grab a hold of the bike rack. Don't got to pull any levers. We're just going to grab a hold at the bottom, just tilt it up until it locks into place. Now the bike itself is held in at two different points of contact. We have a strap on the back wheel securing it onto this back platform. And then up front, we're going to have this wheel hook putting downward force on top of our front wheel, forcing it down into the wheel cradle. What's great about those 2 points of contact is that there's no frame contact at all. It's going to hold it by the two wheels, so you don't have to worry about any damage occurring, and it's still going to be a very tight hold. Let's go ahead and take the bike off. You want to start with the strap first. In my opinion, that's the better one to start with. Just pull that tab and then pull the strap out. Now up on the hook, we're going to make sure we have a hold of our bike, and then we're going to push down on this button, lift up, fold that arm down, and now we can remove the bike. And then when you're done, just to kind of do some housekeeping, we'll put that strap back. Then we'll fold this hook all the way to the other side and push it all the way down, like so. Now let's take a few measurements. First, we're going to go from the bumper of our Highlander to the outermost point of the bike rack. We've added on about 37.5 inches to the back of the vehicle, which is expected. You know, with any hitch-mounted accessory, you are going to have length add-ons to the vehicle. Part of the reason it might be more than other racks is that the spacing between your bikes is pretty great. From the center of the cradle to the center of the platform, you can have 13 inches of space right there. So your bikes aren't going to be close to rubbing up against each other, which is what a lot of people like. Now the closest point of our bike rack to the bumper is pretty great distance. We're sitting at 12.5 inches, so just over a foot. You're not going to have to worry about it making contact with the Toyota. And now for our ground clearance. We're going from the ground to the outermost point at the bottom. It's exactly 24 inches, so 2 feet, which is plenty of height. You're not going to have to worry about going up any inclines into your driveway or uneven pavement. We can fold this up to conserve on the space we've added on. We're going to come back to this lever that we used to tilt it away, except this time we're just going to lift up after we pull it, just like that. Now we have taken off that space. We'll go from the bumper of the Highlander again to the outermost point. We're sitting at 19.5 inches now, which is a pretty big difference, something to keep in mind for any tight parking spots if you want to pull in your garage and you don't want to take your bike rack off. Also, our closest point has changed. If we go from the bumper to the closest point, we're at 9 inches. But again, if I push up on this, you're going to see that it's not going anywhere. It won't make contact with the vehicle. Another great feature about this is that it has a bike repair stand. Now right here is going to be the stand. We can just flip up that clip. We can spin it out. We can raise it to a certain height to get our bike up off the ground. We'll lock it in place. And then we can actually take a bike and set the frame in this slot right here. And then we just tighten it down, and then we can do on-the-go maintenance and repair without having to lean over and work on the bike. And then when it's not in use, conveniently stores right down here. And it only adds about 4 or 5 inches to the back of your bike rack. And that also can go on the end of the 4-bike rack if you choose to get that addition. Now if we come down and see how it attaches to the hitch, it's going to be for 2 inch by 2 inch receivers. We have a standard pin that goes through with a lock on the other side, which is going to be a great feature for security purposes. Now the anti-rattle system is pretty cool. We have this cam locking lever on the back, or knob I should say. Once we tighten that down, that's going to activate the system on the inside of the hitch receiver. It's going to have a little ball that it pushes out and wedges into the corner inside the receiver tube, and that's going to take out not only the side-to-side play like most anti-rattle bolts will do, but this one's also going to take away the up and down play, so it's not going to go anywhere or shake at all while we're traveling. Another bonus feature is that if you got it pretty tight, but you want to make it just a bit tighter, but you can't get a grip on the handle, you can use this hole right there for a Allen key that is provided with your Kuat rack to get some leverage and tighten it down more. With that being said, that's going to do it for our look at the Kuat NV 2.0 2-bike platform rack on our 2019 Toyota Highlander.